We are currently in what will eventually become the electronics lab in my warehouse of doom here. The lights here on this circuit are dead. The ones over here are alive. I admit I did a little bit of work off video. I actually got these guys changed out, and it turns out that there was a complicated thing. I could not figure out why these lights would not turn on, and then I found out that there is a three-way switch over there that is actually failed. So that's why I couldn't get anything to work. I found this out by jumpering up a power cable to the light over there and to seeing that it actually works if you give it regular voltage. So once I did that, it was a pretty simple matter of just going ahead and taking my Fluke, not Fluke, that's networking gear, my Klein ET450, and tracing the wires to figure out what was going on and why I didn't have power here. Once that was sorted out, the ballasts worked out about the way that I would have thought that they would. So, and by the way, I'm going to do a ballast roundup eventually because I found what I think was a failed ballast. And not just failed, but spectacularly failed, as in the internal safeguard actually kicked in. Now, for those who don't know, ballasts, when they're failing, can get really hot. And this is, of course, a fire hazard. So they built a mechanism into them, so if it gets up to a certain predetermined failure temperature, I think it's 230 Fahrenheit, then it must fail. And it fails if it's just a requirement that it has to fail somehow. And so it basically needs to sweat out some kind of material or whatnot and actually ensure that the electrical contact is broken and it can no longer operate. So I've got this ballast that is covered in this black slime, and I think that that's one that has actually gone through this protective failure mode where it baked out the slime and it killed connectivity in the ballast and, dead ballast. So this is a little bit of a break from doing those high ballasts way up in the other room. But I'll tell you, this is actually a little more complicated in some ways because they have way more wires. So what I'm working with here is some T8s. Oh, well, I see that black slime happen here too, so yep, I could be wrong, but I think this is also a failed ballast, and that stuff can be wet and gooey still. I'm going to try and keep my mouth away from it because I don't think that's exactly a health food. Let's see. And by the way, I have already confirmed that the breaker is off and that there is no power here. And I'm an idiot who's untrained in electrical stuff. Do not try this at home. But as I've said in previous videos, I am here to serve as a warning not to do things my way and maybe get less injured in the process. So anyway, these T8 bulbs have 2 pins per side for a total of 4 pins on the bulb. And that differs from the actually these are T12s, not T8s. Anyway, that differs from the big long ones, which, as you may have noticed, have only one electrode at one end and one electrode at the other. So I'm actually not sure what it strictly needs all those wires for, but it's got them. Now, I am going to go get my screwdriver, which I left over here. Oh, that's right. I was using the screwdriver on the other ones where the nuts were and the screws were shallower, but for these guys, I'm actually using a ratchet. because it'll let me get in there deeper and get at it. Okay, this one's loose. Now, I just remembered I need to get these guys loose or else I'm going to be supporting this awkwardly and trying to do it one-handed. So why don't I just do the smart thing for a change and remove these wires. So this little ballast here will pop off readily. Okay, all free on this side. Now let's get it free on this side. Now, as you may be able to notice, I am sweating because it is Alabama, and it may be 2:25 in the morning, but it is still relatively spicy on the heat side. One of the high points of this Warehouse of Doom project is that tomorrow my parents are allegedly coming over to help out, and we're going to get the air conditioning unit installed so that we actually have climate control. Imagine that. Okay, this is, of course, very nasty because it's gooey. Now I'm going to take my nasty ballast and move it out of the way. Alright. So, let's see. Alright, we got these wires here. We got those wires there. We've already got those guys split out. So, looks like they already ran out and wire length. So what I'm going to do here is this black wire, too short to reach the other side, but these yellow wires, they are definitely long enough to reach this white wire here. And as one end of these LEDs is going to be positive, the other end is going to be negative, and we're just running all the way out. Then this is going to be the simple approach. So we got the white wire here, we got this here. Now we're going to need to get all these together, and the way I have evolved my approach is, rather than trying to twist 4 wires together here, what I'm going to do is twist 2 sets of 2 together. So these blue guys are going to become 1. Okay. Alright, one last twist. There we go. We are done on this wire. Now to join these 2 wires in unholy electromony. Alright, so now we're going to straighten this one out just a little bit more than it was. Okay, so now we have these two wires here, and I need to run wire about that far. Why, yes, I do use wires I just found lying on the floor. Why do you ask? Okay. Now, okay. And you always do want to make sure you have at least a little bit of extra slack here. You don't want to go trying to cut it that short. I mean, wire's not going to make you broke, but the fire from doing it wrong just might. Oh, yeah, and I need my wire strippers, don't I? Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. All right. All right. It is now LED o'clock. All right. So I'm just going to pass this out the window a little bit. Literally the window. That's where the AC unit's going. It's wide open. Alright, so this, if you can see it, is the end of this cord here, or this light here. It's got the little prongs on it, the two of them. And I've done enough of these, and I'm pretty sure I've got this wired up correctly. But, you know, there's always going to be that one that shows up, and then guess what? You discover that you screwed up. Alright. Oh, I see wire. Okay, we popped a wire loose from that nut. That's that little three-way thing. I got a hunch those wires are actually wired together anyway, so it probably wouldn't really matter, but we don't want a live line here. And honestly, if your wires are capable of doing this, then you did it wrong, which means I did it wrong, and I'm glad that I actually discovered that. Okay, so those two were twisted together. Then here's the big guy. And now I'm putting the nut over all of them. Okay, it's threaded. Let's see if this works. Gonna back out of here and flip the grand switch of doom. Well, that's odd. We got one on and one off. I haven't seen that one before. All right. Well, let us see what I did wrong here. Okay, so, oh. That's connected. And that's connected. So I actually think that what I did is I didn't have the bulb in there seated just right. Nope, not the case. All right. Well, let's confirm it's the wiring by switching the bulbs. Because after all, it could be a DOA bulb. And we should always try to replace the easy things before spending a bunch of time on the harder things. So at the end of the day, we want to get the work done and done right. And testing leads to knowledge, and knowledge leads to knowing that your wiring is actually off. Okay. All right. So I will admit I don't have my continuity tester on me. That's one of my pieces that's sitting at the house right about now. So I am going to suspect that it is this side that's having the problem. Okay, we're all black here, and we are white here. We got the yellows, and then the yellows look like they're jumping off to the whites, but don't really see the white wires, and on the other ones I did see little white wires running around. So, while I suspect that they are jumpered over, I don't know that they are jumpered over. So, I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to look and see if I can spot issues here. Oh, we got the whites and the yellows sharing elements. Now let's get this out of here. So this one really doesn't want to come out, which is interesting to me, and suggests maybe we're dealing with some kind of wire damage. I am going to have to look and see if I've got any kind of another device around here with a continuity testing function on it, because this really feels like a continuity issue. Alright, well, I don't have such a thing, but I am going to improvise, and this is the thing that gets people killed. On electricity, I'm going to make sure that I back away from this one as I fire it up. But what I'm going to do is see if I sort of jumper this over, if I will actually get light on the side that I think this issue is on. And this one happened to have snapped off the wire that was with it. Okay, there we go. So we are going to bend this, and 90-degree angle. And then wish for luck. So there's that. There's that. Let's see if I can still fit a bulb in there with that jumper in place. Okay. So far it's not really liking it. But if I only do one electrical point of contact here and hope that it can still hold it, then we should be able to weasel this, because keep in mind the positive is on one side, the negative is on the other with this design, and I'm pretty sure that those two electrical connections on the LED are actually connected together internally. So it shouldn't matter which one the current is flowing from. So we'll see if this works. Okay, so either my jumper is not in contact, or the fixture on the other end is not in contact. However, the fact that the one light did in fact turn on with only one connection valid does suggest that this is wired the way I think it is, internal to these LED light strips. And so, alright. Now, simple theories first. I'm going to see what happens if I swap these back two here. And that should tell me whether or not we got a problem back here. But it's not going to come unless I get a flathead screwdriver. And I want to pry out with my knife. That's a poor use of a good blade. Screwdriver, on the other hand, well, I mean, kind of made for prying, right? Okay. Let us resume our experiment. Okay, well, that doesn't really seem to be. Well, okay. Yeah, this really feels like I should just go home and get my continuity tester, doesn't it? Alright. Alright, so I got my continuity tester. I've got a couple of multimeters, and this is the one that I don't use nearly as much, but still does the job. Make sure it's set to a mode where I can actually hear it. And there we go. And that's the sound of being able to connect. So I realize this is not what this is for, but I'm going to clamp it onto the top of my stool here. Now, let us see if we got connectivity here. Oh, we sure do. Okay, let's see if we got connectivity here. Oh, well, maybe I can't quite reach it. Or maybe I can. Okay. We do not have connectivity here. Well then. Alright. So that's interesting. So now we're going to reach into this bundle and tell me what I already know. Connectivity here. Connectivity here. Well, that is interesting. Do we have connectivity here? Oh, that shouldn't be the case. Why would we have one cap here that's bridging it all together? Why wouldn't we be able to talk to these guys? Oh, well, that suggests that my lovely little 3 wiring thing, yeah, I think one of these did not actually get solidly connected. So I'm going to go ahead and take the pliers and twist them together, as I guess I should have done earlier. All right. So now let's see if we got connectivity between these guys. We do! All right. So this jumper is unnecessary. Okay. And we have the lights as we would want. Cool. Alright, so I only have... Where is my... Oh, yeah. I only have this one left before I have completely finished the lights in one room of the warehouse, which will be awesome. I can finally say I have finished something in here, because with 5,000 square feet, the scale of this project is kind of big, and it's very easy to get a little bit of something done, but it's tough to actually finish it all, you know? And there we go. Yeah. Now, most of the long dead mummified bugs are now removed. The back side of the knife is useful for that. Okay, and with these guys, we come in on one side and then bring it around and to get over. There we go. Come on. All right. Excellent. Now we just flip the switch again just to confirm that it still works, and then I'm going to go get the last two light bulbs, or LED bulbs. Not even bulbs. Yeah, I mean, wow. This room is looking so different now with all these lights. All right. All right, so last of the fluorescent light bulb removals and replacements with LED in this particular room. So here's what we learned, which is check for wasps. And this one actually was missing a bulb. Now that's fascinating. Well, actually, no, I didn't pull this out, because if I had, I would have not put the plastic panel back on, because you only get a certain number of times with these panels before they crack. These are already pretty old and not in the best condition, so I wouldn't have risked a reinstallation after pulling one bulb for comparison or anything like that. Okay, now, well, we got a whole bunch of some kind of stuff here. All right. So, first things first. So we are using these little junctions here, which means we don't have the nifty little wire caps. We've got these guys all set up together, and we got our black and our white wires coming in through here. I don't know why we had so much of that. Okay. So we got these little guys here. So I am going to have to just clip this ballast loose. Because these wires are all pretty firmly connected. In which case I might as well. Let's see, so which we got. Now we got this guy running all the way over here. I'd really rather not go cutting if I don't strictly have to. And then we got the black wires. Man, we got so many of these little things here, though. Alright, well. in here, clip it there, give me enough reach, and not have to do anything horrible there. Alright, well, yeah, we got our yellows here. So I'm going to clip these guys. And I'm going to unwind them. Now, let's see. We got the blacks here, we got the whites there. Okay, so this black wire and this white wire. So if I were to clip this off here, then that's disconnected the ballast, and I'm going to have to strip 3 wires, but once I've done that, I'm going to be able to twist them all together. These actually feel like they're in much nicer condition than the other ones. Oh, and this is definitely a copper wire, I'm not sure whether some of the others are maybe aluminum or steel, because they're kind of shiny chrome looking. Okay. Partial strip on this one. Let's get a full strip. Come on now. Alright, properly stripped. Now to grab one of these little connectors here. And just these wires together. Yeah, I know. I learned from the last one. Okay, now. Alright, we got the white side taken care of. That's going to be over here, and then we got to get the black side taken care of, which is over there. Let's see. So this little slender white wire is already taken care of, and I'm just going to use the clippers built into this set of pliers. Probably a dumb move. Oh, well, that went reasonably well. Okay. So this is all clipped, and now we got these guys, troublemakers as they are. I'm going to have to clip these off. I'll clip them close to the ballast. And then, once I've done that, this ballast is ready to be removed. Now that's, oh man, why'd they have to do that? Okay, well, I guess that's okay. So they grounded so they got a grounding wire here, and they have it connected to the ballast. But if you think about it, it's really not grounding on the ballast. What it's grounding on is the frame of this fixture here. So it's meant to be passing through. Yeah, just passing through, guys. So this should be fine. But I am going to make sure that I screw that ground back down, because, okay, flip the ratchet the other way, and ta-da! Or as my very good friend Ronan would say, Padam. Replace ballast. Class P thermally protected type only. Yep, because Class P thermally protected are the ones I was talking about in the other video where it will self-destruct if it gets too hot for too long. Alright, so now that I got this, it is time for me to untangle this to a degree. Because we're all going to wire these guys together. And we got just barely enough to reach it unless I do a really solid job of untangling. So I'm going to really do a solid job of untangling. Okay. Okay. Each of you guys is over here. You guys feed through over here. You got this little pigtail kink here that's got to get taken out. All right, now we got this, and we got this. We got a couple inches to spare, so that's not horrible. Let's get to stripping wires and hope we don't shorten any inadvertently in the process. Okay. Well, that's one way to get access. Okay. All right. Now, it's time to do this set of blue wires here. All right. Now, there we go. Time to twist these wires together. Now it's time to twist these wires together. Now, I need to pick up the wire nuts that I dropped off of here and onto the floor. Okay. Should only need one, but I got two here just in case. All right. All right, so that's done. Let's see what happens now when I plug in the LEDs and I later flip the switch. Now let's see if this works. If so, it'll be the first completed room in the Warehouse of Doom. Really? Fine. I officially do not like these little lights. Okay, so. Okay, electrodes, let's touch you together and confirm that you work. Yep. All right. All right, let us start here. Let's start with right now. The immortal words of Kurt Russell in the thing. Oh. Oh. Okay, I don't have good contact with the wires here, I don't think. Oh, well. Okay. So it's good there if I've got a good solid aggressive connection. I'm going to grab one of these larger wire nuts. See if that makes a difference. Okay. Now we hook it right back up again and see if the issue was there. As you can probably see from all this sweat, I'm just hoping that this is it. And that was in fact it. Alright, that is a good feeling. I have finished something. Now, to pull these out. And get this done. We confirm it still works. Still works. All right. Now here we go. Plenty of dead bugs on here. Pizza toppings anyone? I wish my 16-year-old were here. I would offer him pizza toppings. He would at first be excited, and then he would be grossed out, and it would be hilarious to watch. Okay. All right. We are done. Don't forget to turn off your meters. Oh, this is a lovely feeling. So now I'm going to tidy up quite a bit of this and figure out what I'm doing next.